morning, I'm Michael from Moat Monster Toys and Gaming, and if you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. So in the early 90s, when all my mates were getting super excited for the relaunch of X-Men, and they were getting into comics for the first time, I was taken the mick out of because I liked ROM. I've been collecting comics for a lot longer than them. I already had a hefty ROM Space Knight collection, and he was my hero because, well, let's face it, who didn't want to be a Space Knight? So the packaging alone is absolutely wicked. It just absolutely pops with the colours that they've chosen for it. This comic-inspired line that they have done, all of the packaging looks great, and it almost upsets me to bust ROM open, but I've been waiting years for a comic-accurate ROM Space Knight figure, so I cannot wait to get in here. But I do love 1979, year that I was born. I like how they have done this kind of logo in the style of it's not exactly the same, but in the style of a Marvel comic. And yeah, just the packaging is a really, really nice job. But it's got to go on the shelf because I've been waiting for ROM for ages. Just a quick look at the back. There's some of the other figures on the line, but more importantly, picture of ROM issue #1, and that's Frank Miller doing the cover there. So, popping it open. Out of the package, ROM looks fantastic. Can I just zoom in here? Look at that comic accurate face. So yes, okay, I know he's very, very blocky. He's got a very square head. But look, they absolutely got the eyes just right. The only thing that would have made him any better is if they lit up red. But they are super, he is super cool. He is super cool. Look at him. We've got this weird articulation here. So he can kind of fold over. Not too sure he really needed that, but otherwise the suit is brilliant. I do like these kind of big shoulder pad bits, the jetpack on the back to help him fly, soar through the air and soar through space. And obviously ROM's very silver, but actually, you know, loads of detail on there. The figure looks absolutely slick. I'd never noticed though these weird two-pronged toes on the end of ROM's feet. Like the hands that we have here. So this one almost looks like he's waving. Looks like something out the start of The Day the Earth Stood Still. And then this hand perfectly poised for holding one of ROM's weapons or one of his pieces of equipment. So I'll just put ROM back there. So first up we have, I'm going to say this is ROM's neutralizer. So it's been a while since I've read them and I didn't look it up, but I think this is the neutralizer because there is this kind of new blast piece that we've got that fits right on the front. So if this one is the neutralizer, then I'm guessing this one must be the analyzer. So the analyzer is what ROM uses to kind of expose the identities of the dire wraiths, these kind of shape-changing aliens that he's crossed the galaxy to hunt down. Like he volunteered to be, I think, the first Space Knight, or at least one of the early Space Knights. And this is how he detects them, and then once he's detected them, he can, I'm not sure where he's not got pockets, but he then whips this one out and whoosh, zaps them into limbo once he's established their true identity. So I must say, I've waited years for a ROM figure, and he does not disappoint. I'm not fortunate enough to have the original blocky Parker Brothers one, which over here in the UK, it was actually part of the Action Man Space Rangers line. There's the American advert in the back of ROM #1. And yeah, as I said previously, I have stacks of ROM. Was one of my favourite comics growing up. It was actually one of the first times I experienced the X-Men, was ROM fighting them in this kind of classic early story. And then I had no idea who the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants were at the time, but there's later on fighting Mystique, Rogue and Blob and Pyro and the Avalanche and the rest. But yeah, so what I also like is comes with this very hard, well, this hard plastic little miniature copy of ROM number 1. So I can have him sitting there, posing there, reading it. I actually think I'm going to display him on the shelf with my original one, but I must say, looks absolutely brilliant. And I do like how, let's take that off. I do like how Hasbro are doing more and more of these kind of obscure characters. There's Death's Head, and I was really, really pleased when they did, I'm going to say Crystar because that's how I've always pronounced it, but Crystar. But yeah, thank you very much for looking. Take care.